Okay then. Sir, with your permission, আরম্ভ করছি.
শুরু করে দাও, শুরু করে দাও।
Okay. Namaskar. A very good evening to this 48th study circle of Universal Briefing. I am Ovik and the convener of the study circle who is presently hosting the program on YouTube Live, Mr. Vijay Noskar. Welcome you all to this study circle. And as you know, the topic that is going to be discussed today, that is metamorphosis of research evaluation metrics, and from impact factor to altmetric multi-dimensional indicators and beyond. And for this, we have two stalwarts of LIS profession about whom we just, have no words sufficient to discuss their proficiency, their contribution to the profession. We are very proud to have you amongst us, Sir Professor Saptarshi Ghosh, Professor, University of North Bengal, and our speaker, esteemed speaker, Dr. Bidyarthi Dutta, Associate Professor. We welcome you all and all the dignitaries as we see that, as Sir has said right now, that we have so many stalwarts attended today. So before going to start the formal session, I'll be taking one more minute regarding the activities of the study circle that we do on every last Saturday of every month. And likewise, since 2021, we have completed 48th number. So we have created a repository of this knowledge consortium kind of, where you can find so many diversified topics, research topics, we should say, on YouTube Live, because each and every program of us either have been gone live on YouTube or has made live so far. So with this note, I would request Joya Sharma to continue the session and to anchor the session. And before handing over the session to her, I would request Joya to introduce our esteemed president. But before that, I would take a bit time to introduce Joya. Joya is presently doing her research in the Department of Library Information Science as PhD scholar, and she is the librarian of General Degree College Government in Singur, Hooghly district. She has completed her MSc in University of Calcutta and BLSc from that particular university. And then she completed her MLIC in Jadavpur University. She is a very prolific and dynamic one in the field of LIS profession. Now I would request Joya to kindly carry on the session and doing the needful. Over to you, Joya. Thank you all.
Thank you, Vidya, for the kind introduction. Good evening. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the 48th Study Circle of Universal Briefing. We are truly delighted to have each of you here, united by a shared commitment to learning and advancing knowledge. Today, we are privileged to have with us two remarkably dynamic figures from the field of LIS as the speaker and the president of this study circle. Let me introduce our Honorable President, Professor Saptarshi Ghosh. Professor Ghosh has been a dignified faculty in the Department of Library and Information Science, University of North Bengal since 2001. A respected academic in his field, he holds an MA from the University of North Bengal and an MLISc from Jadavpur University, where he graduated first in order of merit. He also earned his PhD in Library and Information Science from Jadavpur University. His primary research interests lie in the application of computer technologies in LIS, sociology of information science, knowledge management, digital literacy, open access repositories, and metadata. He has published extensively in peer-reviewed international journals and conference proceedings. Professor Ghosh is also actively involved in administrative and professional bodies like Bengal Library Association, Indian Association of Specialized Libraries and Information Centers, American Library Association, International Federation of Library Associations and Institutions, and Association for Information Science and Technology. Let's give a warm welcome to Professor Ghosh, who will lead us through this session. I would like to request Sir to carry forward this session. Thank you.
So thank you very much for such a kind of illustrative representation of my existence. Thank you very much. And practically whenever I was approached to actually be the president of this deliberation by one of our exclusively, exclusively important individual, one individual, Dr. Bidyarthi Dutta, I was overjoyed. Why? Because Vidyarthi, being a faculty member at the Department of Library and Information Science, Vidyasagar University, since from 2012, he is one of the individual who has been doing scientific research along with that on machine-induced research with some kind of unorthodox pattern. Because we see in our this field, a lot of fellows are doing works on bibliometrics, but Vidyarthi's works are some bit different. It's the introspect that is there, that is much more inert than that of the overtly exposition of bibliometrics that we see regarding author metrics and country metrics, all these things. As this is my view regarding that one, being the president of this session, I must say that one. Each and every writer of Vidyarthi is worth reading. Because you see, why this is so, because if you consider Vidyarthi's writing, you will see that one, most of his bibliometric studies research are having some bit of mathematical tone, or that is the undertone is the mathematics, because he's having a master's degree in physics as well as information science and a PhD degree from the Jadavpur University, India. So yeah, the alma maters. Regarding research projects, Vidyarthi already completed 3 such research projects. So UNESCO, UGC, DST, and currently he is functioning as a PI of the ICSSR-sponsored research project entitled Traditional Medicinal Systems and Healing Practices of Selected Tribal Communities of West Bengal, an evaluative study with scientific documentation, and JPN National Center, Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Indore, sponsored research project entitled 2 Decades of Anthropocene Research, a Scientific Analysis. He has one book authored by him, 4 chapters, 120 plus journals, 20 plus book reviews, 15 plus conference papers. See, all these quantifications, the numbers in no way represent what Dr. Bidyarthi Dutta is. He is a guy who smiles. He's an individual who can cut jokes. He is an individual who survives with a very big, a crowded place full of lot of buzzwords, and within that he can say something which can give you some kind of warmth that particular individual is having. So, with saying all these things, this is his day, and we will be listening to him. So I am just requesting Vidyarthi to go for the thing that he's having us, go for the content he's having us. So have a nice evening, everyone, and be ready to get yourself immersed with the very labyrinth of metric studies in library and information science. Thank you.
So, namaskar. Good evening to all of you. And thank you so much, Professor Saptarshi Ghosh sir, very picturesquely describing me. I have heard. So let me start. So can I start now, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So let me start now. Let me just share the screen. Is it visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. And am I audible?
Obviously, you are clearly audible.
Okay, okay.
Professor Vidyarthi, please put it on a presentation mode.
Yes. So it's on. Go for the yes, yes.
Is it okay now?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, thank you. So at the onset, let me thank profusely Professor Udayan Bhattacharya sir of Jadavpur University, Dr. Ovik of Dirozio College, and all other dignitaries, and obviously Professor Saptarshi Ghosh, President of this session, and Professor of DLIS North Bengal University, and just before him the Madam Joya Madam also. So thank you all, and the August gathering, August audience. So the topic is metamorphosis of research evaluation metrics from impact factor to altmetric multidimensional indicators. Actually, I will highlight some salient points only. The crux of my topic is research evaluation metrics. So research, we know, first search is already complete, repeated search. So to unlock with a key, and the point is we have to evaluate that. And as the main question is evaluation, so there must be some quality. Other than we can't evaluate. What we evaluate the quality, the standard. That is the point. And metrics. Metrics, there are thousands of definitions. We know this is the quantitative assessment actually. And metrics represent the numerical values. They are mainly numbers, averages, ratios, and ultimately, eventually, they emerge in the form of calculation resulting from a formula. Following a particular formula, we collect some metrics. Now, Charles Babbage, he is the father of metrics. Charles Babbage, father of concept of metrics. Actually, Charles Babbage advocated for the quantification of scientific articles or papers by proposing that the number of papers authored by a scientist should be used as a measurement of their productivity or quantity and metric. And the idea introduced the concept of quantification of quality. So how to quantify a quality? Yes, quality is quantifiable. Quality can be quantified. This was first pointed out by Charles Babbage, also known as the father of computer. And following Charles Babbage, now there are so many facets of biblioscientometrics. And at the onset, one point I have to mention that there are so many terms which hovers around the concept of metrics, that is bibliometrics, scientometrics, informetrics, webometrics, cybermetrics, and so on. So here only two terms we used, which are mostly used, that is bibliometrics or scientometrics. Now, John Derek de Sola Price, very well-known person, he is known as the father of theoretical biblioscientometrics. He was actually a physicist and historian of science, and he estimated around in 1960s, during 1950s rather, end of 1950s, that the number of the scholarly periodical titles will cross 1 million by the end of 20th century. That is, by the end of 2000. He predicted it during 1950s, in the year most probably 1955 or 56. And he led the foundation work for the quantitative study of science using data to analyze how science grows, evolves, and functions as a system. And his masterpiece, Little Science, Big Science, and Beyond, which is a seminal piece, a classical piece, which analyzed how science grows and exponential growth of science occurs. Next, Eugene Garfield, who is known as father of applied or practical biblioscientometrics. And we all know he is known as the father of citation indexing, founder of Institute for Science Information in 1964, and started Science Citation Index in 1964, Social Science Citation Index in 1973, and Arts and Humanities Citation Index in 1978. And these were a main milestone of the journey of these metric studies. And SCI, SSCI, they are today's web of knowledge, hosted by Clarivate Analytics. These are simple facts, basic facts we all know. And Samuel Bradford, who is also known as father of empirical bibliometrics. Therefore, theoretical bibliometrics, practical or applied bibliometrics, and empirical bibliometrics. Samuel Bradford, he was a librarian of Science Museum in London, and he studied journals as sources, and where journals produce how many articles, and he developed a law, and he actually measured documentary chaos by his law. So Samuel Bradford, he actually found out the quantitative relationship between number of journals and number of articles. Then another stalwart person, Alfred J. Lotka, who was actually physical chemist. His basic subject was physical chemistry, and he studied the relationship between number of author and number of articles. Therefore, there are basically three variables: number of journal, number of author, and number of articles. So Bradford established the relation between journal and article, and Lotka established the relation between author and article. They were empirical relationship. Now let us indicate the citation-based indicators. Now, there are so many citation-based indicators, and we can divide indicators in some categories. Now, let us now show the classical citation-based indicator. These are classical indicators. For instance, citation count, impact factor, immediacy index, half-life, which measures obsolescence, self-citation, and cited-uncited ratio, also cited-citing or cited source ratio. And one point is, these citation-based indicators are based on simple average model. And that is one main drawback of citation-based indicator, because simple average model is full of biasness. It just averages, and it runs the steamroller over entire system. That is the problem with simple average model. But impact factor and immediacy index, they are basically based on simple average model. That's why they are erroneous. Actually, the formula of impact factor is the very basic indicator we know. Whenever we choose any journal or such, any source item or book, whatever it may be, we always ask for what is the impact factor. And the formula of impact factor is like that: C1 plus C2 divided by X1 plus X2, where C1 plus C2 is the number of citations of previous 2 years, and X1 plus X2 are the number of articles. So in the numerator, there are number of citations. In the denominator, there are number of articles. So obviously, it is based on simple average model. But the distribution of citation over articles, it never follows simple average model. It follows relative distribution model. Therefore, if 100 articles of one authors receive 1,000 citations, that doesn't mean each and every article uniformly receive 10 citations. And then we can multiply 10 with 100 and it will be equal to 1,000. Not that. We find that very few articles received around 200 or 300 or more citations, and huge number of papers received only 1 or 2 or 3 citations, and also large number of papers left which received no citation. So that is the actual picture. But the formula of impact factor ignores this variation. That is the point. And there are several types of impact factor: 2-year or 5-year, normalized impact factor, aggregate impact factor, also wave impact factor. But all formulas are based on simple average model. Next, half-life and self-citation. There are 2 kinds of half-life which measures obsolescence, cited and citing half-life. And self-citation, there are 3 types: journal self-citation, author self-citation, and institutional self-citation. And so we have so long discussed classical citation-based indicators, then neoclassical citation-based indicators. There are mainly 3 types: eigenfactor score, article influencing score, and SNIP, or source normalized impact per paper. And then modern citation-based indicator, which starts with IN index, or I10 index rather, for n equal to 10. SJR indicator is Scopus-based, and H index. H index is a big path breaker. This is the main milestone. And it was introduced by Hertz in the year 2005. And H index, G index, and H type index, the main categories of indices are just enumerated here. H index, G index, H type index, other indexes based on H index and number of publications, indexes for personal success of researchers, indexes for characterization of research network, and indexes for measuring quality of scientific output. These are basic categories. And there are several non-citation indicators also. I mentioned just few. There are several non-citation indicators. That means those citations are based on number of authors, number of articles, number of co-authors, number of collaborations, also relative growth rate. It is based on growth of literature over time, also doubling time, etc. So these indicators, these 12 indicators, none of the indicators are based on citation. That is the point. Now let us first say about H index. H index is essentially based on relative distribution model. And there are also several types of H index: time normalized H index, publication normalized H index, tapered H index, and temporally bounded H index, or H dependent H index. And this is the basic formula. This is how H index occurs. And along x-axis, the ranked articles are plotted, and along y-axis, number of citations are plotted. So ranked articles, first ranked articles receive this much citations. Second ranked article received this much citations. And one point here, the graph looks like continuous distribution, but basically the data along x-axis and along y-axis, they are all discrete variables, because publication rank, that is ranked article, rank 1, 2, 3, these are discrete numbers, and number of citations, these are also discrete numbers. And after connecting all citation points, we get this type of graph. And here the area under the graph, this gives the total number of citations received by all these ranked articles. And this square indicates H index. Actually, top H articles received at least 8 citations. And this zone indicates H excess citation. This zone indicates H tail citation. And this plus that indicates net excess citation. These are the basic points. Here it is mentioned. Upper H core or H excess zone, lower H core or H tail zone, and this is H core zone or H square zone. And this tail citation zone, this is still dead and unexplored area. Only in the year of 1965, Eugene Garfield, he mentioned that he imposed different nomenclature for single-cited article, that is ONESIES, ONESIES. For two-cited articles as TWICES. And he mentioned when he searched, he looked for the answer that why there are so many onesies and twices in any subject field. In any subject field, why there are so many single-cited or two-cited papers? That is the point. That is actually normal trend of any distribution, but still, hence till today, much research, there is scope of huge research with this tail citation zone actually. And this is the excess citation zone and this is the tail citation zone. And the most interesting thing is that the this square, in due course of time, the size of this square increases and the upper space gradually decreases and this lower space gradually inflates in due course of time. But these are all qualitatively observed, but actually with what rate, with time, this variation, relative variation of difference in area of this upper zone and lower zone occurs, that is also another topic of research. So there is scope of much research in this area. So this is the basic formula for H index, and it is essentially based on relative citation distribution. That is the point. And there are so many H type index. H type index, obviously, that is also based on relative distribution model. One is H5 index, then E index, also known as complementary H index, R index, W index, A index, M index, HG index, and they have separate formulas are there. Other indexes based on H index and number of publications jointly, that is Q index, QIP index, P index, PI index, perfectionism index, PICS, and EPICS, extreme perfectionism index. And indexes for measuring quality of scientific output, that is annual impact index, MAPR index, T index, RPG index, TPP index, and TIA index. So these are several indicators. Now, so basic point is that the pre-2K or classical indicators are mainly journal level indicators. Pre-2K means the indicators which developed before the year 2000. Only 5 to 6 indicators were in existence before the year 2000. They were impact factor, immediacy index, cited half-life, citing half-life, that is half-life, citation count obviously, and also some non-citation indicators. Yes, non-citation indicators mostly developed around 1990 or 95, little before the year 2000, but only few citation-based indicators were in existence before the year 2000. There were only impact factor, immediacy index, and half-life, these three. And obviously citation count, that is basic indicator. But with the invention of H-index in the year 2005, the new era was started. And the concept of author level and article level indicators, they were developed after the year 2000, after 2K. Because before 2K, journals were only evaluated. And authors or institutions, the concept of evaluation of authors and institution was not in existence before the year 2000, because it was naturally was believed, yes, authors are obviously they are of high quality, or institutions are of high quality. But yes, they also need evaluation. This concept emerged after the year 2000 with the increase in the numbers of papers, number of articles. So concept of author and article level indicators basically developed after the year 2K. And introduction of H-index in 2005 was the milestone of modern post-2K metrics, and introduction of the concept of altmetrics by Jason Prim in 2010 was another milestone, particularly in the developing alternative metrics or altmetrics. In 2010, another milestone occurred, that is altmetrics or alternative metrics, which is also not based on citation. But one thing, yes, H-index is such a famous indicator, but still there are some drawbacks of H-index. Let me show you one thing. Just a minute. Actually, H-index, that is based on relative distribution models, but still there are also so many demerits of H-index, and no indicator exists till today which can measure everything exactly. That is the point actually. But one thing we should mention that, yes, H-index, this is the H-index is it is an indicator, but H-index, it is not the indicator of the popularity. It does not indicate popularity. That is the point. Let me again share, just a minute.
Presentation, I guess, has stopped. Your presentation has stopped.
Yes, I'll present. So let me show you one thing. Here, actually, can it be seen?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Mhm. Now here, now H index, let me just mention the demerits of H index. Here, this is an imaginary conversation between two stalwart scientists, Stephen Hawking and Edward Witten. And Stephen Hawking, as of 2023, the H index of Stephen Hawking was 121, and Edward Witten was another physicist, but the H index of Edward Witten was 192. Now, this is actually an imaginary conversation, not Edward Witten asked Stephen Hawking like that. I'm sure Stephen Hawking didn't reply like that. As if Edward Witten told Stephen Hawking, my H index is bigger than yours. And Stephen Hawking replied, but more people know who I am. This is very true. Actually, who is Stephen Hawking? Everybody knows. People outside the domain of physics, everybody, they know who is Stephen Hawking, such a basic physicist. Yes, also Stephen Hawking published some very popular science book, particularly popular astronomy and astrophysics books. That's right, starting from the brief history of time or the universe in a nutshell. So therefore, he is very popular. But Edward Witten also very renowned physicist. But outside the domain of physics, people hardly know the name of Edward Witten. That is the point. Therefore, H index is not at all the measurement of popularity. That is the point. And another thing is, there are a number of scientists today whose H index are bigger than the H index of Albert Einstein or Richard Feynman or Enrico Fermi or Paul Dirac. Particularly Albert Einstein or Richard Feynman. That is the thing. Therefore, what actually is measured by H index, that is still debatable. And here some points I mentioned why H index is debated. Number one point is variation in types of publications. Author name design ambiguation, yes, it is the technical problem. Publisher Paris pressure. And disciplinary difference, this is the major problem. And due to disciplinary difference, one major problem exists till today. No scientometric indicator cannot be standardized. They exist in non-standard form. They are not yet standardized because of disciplinary difference. And due to difference in citation threshold for different research domain, the citation threshold means number of citations held by top cited 1% of articles. That is the citation threshold. And this citation threshold today is highest for protein chemistry, followed by genetics, microbiology, etc., medical science. These fields are highly citation active area, whereas the field like social science and humanities is the lowest citation active area. Therefore, disciplinary difference is very prominent in case of citation, and that is very dominantly reflected through H and H type indices. That is the main source of problem. Next, manipulable through self-citation, re-citation, coercive citation, etc. They are direct factors of demerits of H index, and based on only Google Scholar output, ignores documents not indexed by Google Scholar, and varies over databases. Yes, that we know. The H index by Scopus, Web of Science, Indian Citation Index, OpenAlex, Lens, Dimension, Google Scholar, every H index is different. Why? That is the major problem. So we have to answer. This is my H Google Scholar, H Scopus, H WOS, H OpenAlex, like that, or H Dimension. How funny. That should not be. So lack of exactness is there. The H index is an integer that minimizes its discriminatory power. Ruan and Toy proposed a rational H index that interpolates between H and H plus 1. So these are the demerits of H index I just mentioned. So let me now switch over. Just I pointed out so H index and H type indices, they are essentially based on citation. And let us now point out altmetric indicators. It was started in the year 2010, actually, precisely speaking from 2011 or 12. First we heard during the year 2011 altmetrics. And we first, I can still remember, I thought altmetrics, eta abar ki metrics re baba. And then gradually understood, oh yes, alternative metrics and coupling of alternative metrics to altmetrics. So this is the thing. So it essentially includes like fields like viewed, discussed, saved, cited, recommend. Yes, citation also included there, but besides citation, so many other factors are included there. Particularly, how many times it is shared in social sites like Facebook, Twitter or X. Today it is X, or Reddit, etc. Wikipedia. These are the sites for altmetrics.com. Altmetric Manifesto, it was released in the year 2010. And there are so many altmetric tools. And this is the ribbon, this is the badge. This is actually, it indicates the altmetric attention score. The figure given here, it indicates the altmetric attention score. And these are the items. One color indicates one item. For instance, the red color is the news outlets. Yellow is blocked. Sky color is tweet, like that. And only one website is there, that is Dimension. Let me show, is it visible? The page of Dimension?
Visible.
Okay. Now I searched, this is the front page of Dimension. I searched by giving the keyword folksonomy, which retrieved 20,669 articles. And I sorted by citation. This is the top cited article, received 4,900 citation, but altmetric scored only 26. Whereas if I sort by altmetric attention score, then I will see, let me sort by altmetric attention score. Yes, this article whose citation is only 490, whereas altmetric attention score is 904. Therefore, it is very common trend that citation and altmetric attention score, they hardly are in consonance. They tally with each other. For highly cited articles, possess very low altmetric attention score, whereas high altmetric attention scored articles possess very low number of citations. Now, what is the reason behind it? No actual objective reason has yet been framed out. That is the point. For instance, this article, 904, this ribbon is very well visible. This news outlet, blog, policy sources, X user, patent, Facebook pages, these are one color indicates one items. Hence, altmetric attention score is very explicitly indicated by only one database, that is Dimension. Yes, Scopus or Web of Science, they all express number of citations, but they do not cover the altmetric attention score. Altmetric data are not there. Even Scopus or Web of Science or OpenAlex or Lens, they do not cover the altmetric attention score. But only Dimension till date, they show the altmetric attention score. That is the uniqueness of Dimension. Hence, this is the ribbon. So this is the altmetric attention score. And there are several altmetric tools like impact stories there, they all actually aggregate different impact data from many sources. For instance, from Mendeley to GitHub to X and more. Reader meter is there. This is also another mass app. Science card is there. PLOS Impact Explorer. This is based on actually PLOS, Public Library of Science. Very expensive, we know. That is Public Library of Science Open Access Journal, but this is the highest APC Open Access Journal. His APC is more than 5 lakhs. Paper Critic, Crowdometer. So these are some altmetric scores, and these are the sources where it is indicated how altmetric attention score is calculated actually. Altmetric.org, and one point is the altmetric attention score is obtainable only for those articles which have DOI, Digital Object Identifier. So without DOI, altmetric attention score is not possible. So the links below will allow to connect with both altmetric users and individuals. Altmetrics on Twitters, altmetric.org, and Mendel Altmetric group is also there. And this is the point where just we saw in the dimension database that citation count versus altmetric attention score, they hardly in consonance with each other. And numbers of study, though not very large, numbers of study from different subject fields that has yet been found, it confirmed it, that yes, high citation count means low altmetric attention score. That is to say, citation count is inversely varies or reciprocally changes with altmetric attention scores, but not directly proportional. That is the thing. If we can divide the articles in any field by this 4 zone, high citation, high altmetric attention score, and we'll only find 1% article in any field, just 1% article fall in this zone, which has actually citation indicates impact, whereas altmetric attention score indicates visibility. So both impact and visibility high only for 1% article, and 2 to 3% which has high impact but low visibility. That means they need more circulation. And 5 to 6% article, they are low citation but high altmetric attention score. So they needs more interaction, that is low impact, high visibility. And more than 90% articles are low impact, low visibility. This is like that table we know in information retrieval, we know heat, loss, noise, and dodge. And majority, 80 to 90% goes under dodge, and heat becomes only 1 to 2%, like that retrieval experiment, it occurs. Now the basic question, let me just discuss, why there are so many metrics? Is it at all possible to quantify the quality? Why there are so many metrics? Because no metrics has yet quantified the quality in an exact manner. This is the answer, I think, and you please opine. What is the reason behind the existence of such a large number of metrics? And at this point, let us recall a 2,500-year-old story. Actually, that is regarding inexactness. We all know Pythagoras of 6th century BC. He was the first mathematician in Western world. Yeah, in India, there are also mathematicians. Used mathematics as a means to understand the natural world, and first to teach that the earth was a sphere that revolves around the sun. And Pythagoras theorem, very basic theorem we all know, perpendicular square plus base square is equal to hypotenuse square for any right angle triangle. This perpendicular square plus base square is equal to hypotenuse square. This is the basic Pythagoras theorem we will all know. And Pythagoras believed that yes, each and every entity on this earth are measurable by numbers. So number can measure everything. It was the firm belief of Pythagoras. And Pythagoras developed a school of thought in that this is the very well-known equation of Pythagoras. A base perpendicular and C is the hypotenuse. And Pythagoras believed the mystery of the universe revealed itself in numbers. That is the point. And the mystery of nature is underlying in numbers. But in his school of thought, he had one disciple, his one student was Hippasus, who disagreed Pythagoras. During 5th century BC, he was there. And he threw a very basic question. Yes, Pythagoras showed that if this perpendicular is 3 unit and base is 4 unit, then it will be 5 unit. So 3, 4, it will 5. So 12, 13, and 5, 12. If B is 5, A is 12, then C will be 13. But Hippasus asked very basic question. If B is equal to 1 and A is equal to 1, then what will be the value of C? Yes, it will be Hippasus invented, and in this way, Hippasus actually invented irrational numbers, and that confirmed that numbers could not measure everything. Irrational numbers means inexact numbers. And Hippasus first found that yes, if perpendicular is 1 unit and base is 1 unit, then hypotenuse will be what is its exact value. And exact value has not yet been solved, even in the year 2025, even in 29th November 2025. Now time is 8:25 p.m. So that is the point. Not yet. And up to 10 millionth digit were computed by 2 NASA scientists, Nemirov and Bonnell of NASA. These 2 NASA scientists, they computed up to 10 millionth digit of the value of √2. And they also, at the same time, they concluded, yes, that is not the end digit. So what is the terminating digit of √2? Not yet discovered. If today, by chance or in any future, it is discovered, yes, in √2 or in √3, there is a terminating digit, I think entire human history will be radically changed. So that is the point. But not only √2, that is written here, square root of all prime numbers are irrational and endless, and therefore inexact. Irrational numbers means inexact. Therefore, number system is completely inexact. Then how we can quantify the quality? So is it at all possible to exactly quantify the quality of research? Because number system, in indicator, in metrics, we rely, yes, now by number, by a formula, or by a number, we can exactly measure the quality, exactly quantify. But within the inherence of the number system, the inexactness is there at each level. That is the point. So is there any metric that can perfectly capture the true value of research? These metrics are often proxy measures and have significant limitations. Therefore, we definitely need a unified matrix. And alongside numerical values or some numbers, qualitative evaluation, such as the potential for societal impact, contribution to knowledge, and overall coherence are crucial for a holistic assessment. Yes, holistic assessment is possible not only by quantitative indicator, but also with qualitative indicator. And there should not be any wrestling in between qualitative and quantitative values. Actually, it is usually observed the pure science people, they fully rely on quantitativeness, whereas ignore qualitative values. And the hardcore social scientists, they have much belief on qualitative indicators. But yes, how to balance in between qualitative and quantitative indicators? So standardization of indicators, that should be the basic problem today. That is and therefore research should be performed in that orientation. So thank you, James. So am I late?
No.
It's just 8:30. Okay.
So most probably you are not late. So it's a good thing for continuing this one for near about just 1.5 hours. So now the floor is open. Thus, I'm seeing that 143 people are there. So if you have any doubt regarding the presentation, or rather, if you want to give some feelings, so you can go with it. So all of you are here, I do not know, because he talked about a lot and he talked something very, very, very important at the end of his deliberation. So he started with something like that is the finiteness, but actually gave him something where you have to start your critical thinking. So now, so the floor is open to all of you. So it supposes that, yes, I'm getting Vinit Kumar is saying that one. Briefly, please, let me see. Briefly, please mention about gaming the citation. So, Dr. Datta, so this is the question in the chat box. Briefly, please mention about the gaming of citations.
Yes, just please repeat. I just missed the questions.
Okay, the question is, briefly, please mention about gaming the citation. So I just
gaming. Okay. Gaming of citations.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, in common, gaming of citations means unethical manipulation of citations by so many means. And citation can be manipulated. Actually, whatever I showed one slide regarding demerits of H index.
Yes.
And there it was described. It is the unethical manipulation of citation, particularly some very basic methods are there. By self-citation, it can be manipulated. By recitation, it can be manipulated. Recitation means actually repeated citations. And by coercive citation, by forced citation, by network citation. And there are scrupulous markets are there, citation markets, some terms are there today, citation mafia, citation black marketing, and citation corruption. Yes, in every field, in education, in the society today, we are seeing in every field there is corruption. Why citation will be exempted? Yes,
Right.
Citation has that capability of enter into the corrupted world. So there is always shadow behind every object. So in citation, that can be manipulable. And there are so many agencies which manage citations in exchange of money. And particularly, we should be very cautious about that. So many times I received so many mails, so many even phone calls, unknown phones, and nowadays I am very afraid of that. And I am always afraid to receive any unknown phone call, whether that will empty my bank account. That is the point. And they just give offer that yes, we'll give, this is the APC, this is the charges, such and such. and give such and such rupees 20 or 30,000, you will get around 15 citations. That is the point.
So now
So
I'm
this is the
getting,
demo citation.
okay.
Mainly recitation, coercive citation, network citation, and extensive research on gaming of citations should take place today. Should be there. There should be topics of active research. Very good question raised. Gaming of citations, definitely.
So thank you, Dr. Vineet, for your inquisitive question. And right now I'm getting one raised hand of Dr. Pubalika Bhattacharya Maitru. So, ma'am, do you have
Good
any?
evening, sir. Good evening.
Yes.
Good evening. So, excuse me as I'm outside, but I want to thank you all and Bidyarthi especially because he has given a very nice insight about bibliometrics and the quantification of bibliometrics with the qualitative research, where he has given his philosophical idea about the quantity and the research quality. It's very nice, and I hope many of us has got some food for their qualitative and quantitative thoughts and ideas. So it's a very nice point of view what Bidyarthi has raised. One thing I want to add up to his, that is numbers can never be given the importance as the quality of researchers, because 1 to 2, 2 to 3, the gap, nobody knows it is equal or not, because numbers are always conceptual and those concepts are being driven for our benefits and using the beneficial areas to qualify the quantity and quantify the quality. They are interrelated. So I am really happy to hear the presentation from Vidyarthi. Thank you, Vidyarthi. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Pubalika.
So
Thank you.
Thank you,
now
madam.
myself being the chairman of this session, so I have something that I need to understand, and I think Professor Vidyarthi is one individual who can clarify that one specifically.
I hope one nice question is there. Is there any aim, Lokendra Singh? Okay. He asked, is there any scope of...
Lokendra from Manipur, Assistant Librarian, Manipur University.
Okay, is there any scope of using 12 nitrogen?
That is there any scope of using 12 non-citation indicators you have mentioned in present scenario? Yeah, definitely. They can be used. Yes, definitely. Because non-citation indicators, they are based on number of publications, number of authors, and also collaboration. And particularly the number of articles or number of papers belonging to a particular subject, belonging to a particular country, these factors. So for in any subject, we can use these non-citation indicators. Those are actually regarding number of authors and number of journals and collaboration. Collaboration is the very important point that is mentioned, because the degree of collaboration is different for different subjects. For instance, in social science, particularly during last 10 years, the degree of collaboration in social science is gradually enhancing. And at present, the highest degree of collaboration is observed in the subjects like high energy astrophysics and also in cancer research. Cancer research, where collaboration occurs in highest pace today, because this is the most active, one of the most active zone of research, cancer biology. And that is tried to solve through proteomic study. That is the point.
Okay. So now being the chairman of this session, I just want to listen something from Dr. Dutta. Just one query from my end.
Yes.
That is, you see, we talked a lot, so we heard that one. That is, you talked about the different types of citation metrics, non-citation metrics, different types of, you see, from different levels. So, but see, at the end, we are rather on that very point whether there is a that is actually considered the exactness regarding the
Exactness.
regarding the effectivity of this one, that is the whether the metric studies are good or bad. So a kind of duality we are living in. But you see, you being one of the primary researchers of this area, you see that one, most of the international journals in library and information field, they are still giving too much of importance of bibliometric literature, specifically not that depth that you were saying about that one. It's more or less surface level, that one. And right now, so many tools are there, so you can go for a lot of visualizations. So they are publishing that one, even with a very good journal like Scientometrics, like that one, they're publishing that one. Do you really think that one, all these write-ups, they are really giving us the so-called obstacles, the problems that you actually talked about? That is where the doubts are still there. So is all these articles are any fruitful, or rather it is giving us something, or rather these are information junk?
Yes, very good question. Actually, one thing is very clear that one thing we have all to first realize that scientometrics or bibliometrics doesn't mean counting exercise or jugglery with numbers, jugglery with numerical numbers. That is the point. Scientometrics includes statistics, but statistics is not at all counting exercise. Those two things are totally different. Actually, we have some misconception about statistics, because statistics means only some table. Tables are very easy today, and I don't tax my brain to use a table, because Excel is there, nowadays AI is there. So why do? But in this point, today, in the name of scientometrics or bibliometrics, so many information garbage or statistical garbages is created. And the basic question is how to avoid that and how to filter that. That is the basic question. And one thing I must say that regarding scientometrics or bibliometrics, that is at this point let me just mention very interesting thing. It was actually, can I continue just for more few minutes? Just
Sure. You can continue, no issue.
Okay. Around 5-6 years back, I had a meeting on regarding my DST project in Bhubaneswar, Utkal University. So there was a regarding the DST project, and in that meeting, two stalwarts were present. I just mentioning name. Besides others, one is Professor B.K. Sen sir, and another is Professor I.K. Ravichandra Rao sir. And suddenly, the project was on scientometrics. Meeting was entirely more or less covered on scientometric topic. And I.K. Rao sir mentioned one interesting thing that in Europe, the scientometrics and bibliometrics is mainly done by pure science fellows, like physics, chemistry, or mathematics mains, and substantive share from biological science. But unfortunately, I am emphasizing the term he uttered, unfortunately in India, scientometrics and bibliometrics are done by LIS, library science people. But physics, chemistry, or math people, they are completely oblivious about scientometrics in India. Why? That should not be. And instantly, Professor Sen, B.K. Sen sir replied, "Dear Professor Rao sir, I object your word unfortunately. Please, you erase the term UN. It is fortunately. We are fortunate enough in India, the LIS people are so aware of this scientometrics, but in Europe that is not. For instance, till today, the global forerunner scientometricians like Ege, Russo, Glanzel, Lloyd Ledenstrup, they are all from pure science field. Either chemistry, physics, mathematics, mainly basic science.
It is from physics,
Yes. And Sen sir told this is one of the very advantageous. in India. But one thing we have to remember, LIS people, sometimes they think, yes, scientometrics means simple counting. And therefore in India, extensive training about scientometrics is required.
Yes, the mathematical and statistical training.
Yes.
That is important.
Extensive training on scientometrics and statistics is required. Only then LIS people will become aware, and at the onset, this training will enhance also the status of our LIS field, and LIS people will get more and more importance. It was actually Professor Sen's view.
Right? Very good. Very good. So thank you very much.
Now, can I quickly ask one question?
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Why not?
With your permission. Okay. Sir, Bidyarthi Babu, you have said that, I mean, though these are not self-contrary or to binary pole as it is, but your presentation has made us in a metamorphosis point that should we take citation, which is pertaining to impact factor as well, or altmetrics as alternative metrics? I mean, as a researcher, as a writer of article, what measures should we consider? As you have said that there is no particular standard, as I understand. You are a frequent publisher. I mean, you are a frequent writer of different research articles, which I follow. I'm sure about it. So, what's your opinion? You're an expert in this field. As a novice researcher, what to follow? Because we have said that in dimensions, there is no consistency, like citations and altmetrics.
Altmetric score, yeah.
Yeah. And again, if you browse Tinka AI, they show us article on different, on their own pattern. So as a researcher, some of our students are also joined, and we have some new entrants in LIS who are going to be a good researcher. So what is your advice to them that when selecting an article, what to consider, citation impact factor or altmetrics? And
actually both. Both.
Okay.
And there is a thumb rule of formula, just I am writing here in the chat box. Just you see this formula. Square root of citation multiplied by AS, Altmetric attention score. Suppose you are selecting quality or potential articles from citation in any subject field, say. I showed here, I use the term, say, folksonomy, because related to our subject. And you first sort by citation and say top 10 or say top 20 cited articles you note down along with their AS, attention score. Then you sort by top 10 or 20 AS, and alongside that, then multiply C by AS and do the square root of the product, and then see. Actually, square root of the product is a standard measurement. Therefore, square root of HG, we know H index is a very good measurement, H index, and also G index. But nowadays, many scientists, they also use this one, square root of H into G. HG, that is actually geometric mean. Statistically, it is a geometric mean. So therefore, we should use the geometric mean of citation and altmetric attention score, because geometric mean will fall in between that. And yes, geometric mean is in between arithmetic mean and harmonic mean. Therefore, geometric mean is safer compared to AM or HM. That is the point. So that is one method of measurement, and others also. This is just one thumb rule, I said. And there is no standard accepted method that which article I have to choose, whether high citation article or high altmetric attention score article. And one thing only you can tell, that high citations article means they have high impact, high research impact, and high AS, high altmetric attention score article means they have high circulation. So these, but both these parameters are important. That is the point. no parameter cannot be ignored completely. That is the thing. So this.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Well, so this was actually a long deliberation, near about 1.1 hour and 45 minutes now. And at the same time, we discussed also we took some questions, and myself even tried to understand something. Now, I think from my part, this thing is over, because I am not just going for oversimplification of that one by saying again, actually summarizing what he told, because we already discussed that one. And particularly all the people who were there, I think they understood that one, tried to understood, or even understood that one much more better. Because you see, the common thing, sir, there everyone understood, but the introspect he actually included in some of the slides with his own understanding. That was the what noting, and that is why I'm saying you that one. That is, he talked about the four sections or four categories. You see, high impact, that is high citation, high altmetrics. So see that one, how these two together can actually develop that one. So obviously, we are right now. We need to go for that one. That is, try to increase our Altmetric score also, so that ultimately we can reach to that one. So I think everyone, I must say that one, try to get yourself acquainted with LinkedIn. You see, go for that one with, let's say,
ResearchGate.
ResearchGate, but
ResearchGate is a very good platform.
not a Facebook in that sense. But if you go for the Facebook, right? Okay. So for that one, that
X is very good. X
yes,
nowadays Reddit is there. Reddit is rising.
very good. Reddit is very good. So go
And sir, one point, SSRN for social science research.
Yes.
This is very good platform.
Go for all
SSRN.
those things and try to publish your article with a DOI, so that you can get the benefit of the Altmetrics also.
Yes,
Altmetrics
yes.
also. That is what is
Without
important.
DOI, it will be
Without
useless.
DOI, you cannot actually say that one, because this thing,
Definitely.
all these are actually effortless product. You know that you will get that. You won't get any mark. So with this one, from my end, I'm actually thinking that one, this is over. And I am handing that one to Avik, because he is actually eventually the conductor of this particular program. So you better formally go for the closure of the session.
Okay. So, okay, thank you all.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
We have an announcement for our next study circle, that is 49th study circle. That would be taking place on 3rd January 2026. And our esteemed speaker would be Dr. Bornali Roy Chaudhuri, Assistant Professor, Department of Library Information Science, Subhash Open University. And for that, we have a very esteemed person to preside over the session. And his name is Dr. Nimai Chatsaha, librarian, Vishwabharati. So, Joya, are you there for the vote of thanks, formal vote of thanks?
Yes, I can proceed.
Okay, Joya, please carry on with the vote of thanks.
First and foremost, I would like to express my gratitude to Professor Udam Bhattacharya sir, the esteemed President of Universal Books, for providing us with this notable platform for sharing scholarly perspectives. With deep appreciation, I would like to thank Dr. Bidyarthi Dutta, our esteemed speaker, for delivering a conceptual, scholarly, and insightful talk. I would like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to Dr. Saptarshi Ghosh, our Honorable President, for steering the session with professionalism. I also convey my gratitude to Dr. Uvik Roy, the chairman of the study circle, and Mr. Ubhijit Noto, the convener of the study circle, for organizing this session. With deep gratitude, I thank everyone whose participation and support have made this study circle a successful and enriching experience. Thank you.
So thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a nice, okay,
Thank you.
sweet
Thank you,
dreams.
sir.
Okay, good night for everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, this lecture would be remaining on YouTube, because it has gone live on YouTube, so you can browse it and have a nice year ahead. And thank you all. So,
Okay. Good night.
thank you.
Okay. Good.
Thank you. Good night too.